Alright YouTube, so today's video we are going to make a video that actually is going to talk about a future Canon retro camera and what would that be. And I have thought about this for years. I have also thought about it more and more and more that I use my Nikon ZF, and a lot of things that I've actually thought about. I don't know if Canon's thinking about that. So this particular video, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe here. My name is Amar, if you don't know me. Been shooting for over 35 years, especially on the Canon branded platform. More of that later or in a different episode, but this is more about the retro camera. And we hear a lot of rumors and this and that, but a lot of rumors don't take a lot of brain power. You're just stealing other people's ideas or something that someone drops as a thought, and then you start running with it and trying to claim that that's what's going to happen, and it doesn't, and everyone gets disappointed. So this video is not only a hypothetical, but it talks about a very futuristic plan for a company like Canon. And this is very powerful because if Canon, if you're watching, if one of your executives is watching this, think about what I'm about to say in this video till the end. Watch it, because there's huge amounts of revenue generation ideas here where it could set the bar in pure competition with Fujifilm and others that are making retro type of cameras. But this particular camera will take it to the next level. So with that, I bring out the iconic Canon AE1, right? So a lot of pictures are floating around all over the place, on rumor sites, rumor this, rumor that, that's what it's going to be. Great. Okay, they can put a screen back here, and then literally pop an EVF in here, remove all of this. Sure, they could do that, but I'm going to take this to the next level into saying maybe it's the F1N body. Could be, right? Depending on the audience. So if you're making it for the masses, it'll be the AE1. If you're really making it for the upper echelon of people that can really afford the Leicas of the world, it'll probably be more like an F1N type of body, regardless of what it is. This camera is not going to be cheap based on sort of what I would do with it if I was Canon. So if you're here for that, stay till the end. I think your thinking is going to be challenged. Your perception is also going to change. It's going to force you to think forward while also preserving what has happened in the past. So what am I talking about? When we have lenses, as you know, I'm a very big proponent of buying branded glass. Right? I don't like too much aftermarket third-party things. Because a lot of times the camera has no idea what it is. So, number one thing that I would do is, before I get into this design on what I'm thinking, I'm sure every rumor site is going to steal this video, claim that it's their idea. It's not. They're a bunch of whatever. But that's what they'll do. But Canon, if you're watching, think about it very seriously, especially if you're looking to make a retro, even on this body, it doesn't matter, right? One thing that mirrorless cameras, like I've said before, have not been very successful at is to get old glass, old cameras, DSLRs out of people's hands into the mirrorless side. The masses have not moved, right? The early adopters, the more passionate people, yes, so they get the mirrorless, this, that, and I think we start to define industries based on it. That's not what the industry is, right? Majority of the people still are shooting DSLRs. They still sell a lot of DSLRs. That's one piece. So mirrorless has not done a great job there. So when you make your next new camera and you want to get rid of that mirror inside and make a mirrorless that looks like this, similar to like a Nikon ZF and whatnot that's out there, there are a few things I want you to think about, which I think would be very big for you as a company, and it would be one of the biggest wins for your true patrons. And what do I mean by that? There are a lot of people like myself that have shot the brand for many decades, right? They started on film, they went to DSLR. I don't have a DSLR here, they're all there. You guys know all of I have 7 1D bodies there. 1DS, 1DX, 1D, and 1DC, all kinds of different things. The one thing that you need to think about is how do we get the people that are comfortable already with all this beautiful FD glass. This is the 35 f2 concave. This was a Zeiss killer in the day. This is the 50 millimeter 1.2. You can see, pretty small, right? Now you see how they made the 45. Simple design. Is it perfect optically? No, but it's fantastic when you shoot film. No issue. You can shoot video with any of these lenses, right? Hold that thought for a second. No, I'm not 3 blind men and an elephant, but hold that thought. One thing I want you to think about, revenue, from a revenue perspective as a company. If you can get the people that have all this FD glass like myself, have a ton of EF lenses over the years, and now are actually dabbling into buying some RF type of things. Imagine a mount here that you make where you can literally do one thing, do something like this. This is something that comes on cinema cameras, so I'm going to show you this. That's a mount. This actually goes onto the Sony FC mount, and then it becomes PL mount, right? So it's just a mount that goes on the entire mount, right? It's not an adapter, it's an actual mount. Canon has something on their cinema lineup where there are 4 bolts that you can just remove and take off the mount and put a different mount, like, PL mount, EF mount, RF mount, whatever, right? That kind of thing. Imagine if they made a body similar to this, right? Maybe a little bit bigger, and they were to put, or they would give you in the box 3 mounts. They would give you the FD mount, so you could mount an FD lens natively onto it with no adapters. If you're not an FD kind of guy, or more an EF type of guy, you would mount an EF lens on here with the EF mount. You would just, put the 4 bolts in and mount the EF one. You got an EF retro camera. You don't like that, you're more, hey, I gotta have the latest and greatest RF lenses, no problem. Take that mount off, put the RF mount on there, and you could do that too. Imagine all of that in one camera. Pretty incredible so far, right? That's number 1. Number 2. Now imagine loading top 20 of like the 2 lenses I just showed you, of the FD lenses, their profiles inside this camera on how to correct them. So guess what? If you were to put in things like Kodak film simulations or Fuji film simulations or Agfa film simulations inside this, you would have a perfectly corrected lens already in the camera. Why? Because Canon, you already know the properties of your lenses, so there's no reason why you couldn't put a profile in, and you just pick the lens and bada bing, bada boom. And with firmware updates, you could continue to add more lenses if FD is your way. Same thing with EF. You take the most popular non-L lenses, load them in just like we have, and then we do the lens corrections. We could do that on a retro body. Pretty cool, right? You could do the same thing with the RF. Put that on there. Obviously the flange distance will be different, so the mounts will be different sizes sticking out. The RF would probably be the one that sits furthest, closest to the sensor. That would be genius if they did that and put in the film simulations. To me, I would pay $4,000 for this in a heartbeat. And Canon, if you were to actually put out something like this, you probably won't be able to supply it for years to come. But imagine now what you've done. You've taken your FD users, your EF users, and your RF users, and now you've actually brought all three ecosystems together of 70 plus years of history of photographic equipment, all kinds of things that we've been buying. And it can all live happily on this one retro body. That right there would be the biggest tribute that you could do to the folks that have been so loyal to what you're all about, your history. I'm sure Nikon is probably going to be listening to this too. And I don't know, maybe they might do it first because they already have the ZF. Maybe it's the ZF version 2. They do the same thing with their F mount and all the different mounts that they've had. I don't know all the mounts. I know the Z and the F. That's all I know. I think there was probably one even before that. So same concept applies, but no one's been able to do that so far. So Canon, if you're watching, I'm pretty sure this video is going to be on the top list of everyone to steal. So if you're stealing the video, give some credit, right? Actually give credit that this is where the idea comes from, because it's not your idea. You'll never get that idea because you don't own any of the stuff, right? I see so many people talk about 4 of the, professional DSLRs that will, ruin the need for, buying a mirrorless camera. Well, you don't own any of them. I do. They're all over there. You don't. You're talking about something you have no experience using. Oh, I just do this, because I just graduated and I just wanted to, have someone to talk to. So we make videos so we can talk to someone. There are almost 2 billion people in this world. Go find a friend, shake a hand. Human connection is human connection. Watching a video, you might feel it's human connection, and I'm just saying this even though you're watching my video, it's not the same as sitting next to an actual human, feeling their energies, feeding off of it. Go do that. Be real. Keep it real. This video and this channel is not about AI-driven nonsense. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with AI. It's real. I am real. This stuff is real. It's not fake. I own it. Tons of it. Why? Because this is some of the best photographic gear ever produced on the planet. Period. It's here. Why would you not? All right? If this is what you do. Anyway, so I digress. But back to Canon. Hey Canon, if you're watching, and if you do take my idea, especially Rudy Winston, I would love Rudy Winston to actually introduce my, camera idea to the general world and put that out there, because I don't think there's a better spokesman in this world that would be able to speak to FD, EF, and RF in your entire company today, where you are. And Rudy, because of you, many of us stick with Canon because of all of the contributions that you have done, not just to Canon, but to the photographic industry. So with that, that's my take on it, on the most ultimate retro camera, even if it's $4,000, and even if I don't have the money, I will find a way to fund it immediately. You don't have to make one for $2,000. Make it $4,000. Give all those options. Man, I'm telling you, you won't be able to supply the camera. You think you're selling R5 Mark IIs? You're going to be selling like 4 times as much as R5 Mark II. And the best part, people are going to buy more of the RF lenses. Why? Because they're going to see the autofocus capabilities of what it can do. And they'll sit there and say, hey, maybe let me try that RF lens and stick it on my retro camera and enjoy it. Maybe let me try that. Now you got more chances of selling lenses as well that a lot of people aren't thinking about. And maybe even some of the EF lenses they might want to dabble into because they have them out. Right? And it does another thing. It keeps the FD lenses even more relevant. Video functions. Keep it to a minimum in the camera. Make everything accessible through the HDMI. If you want to connect an external recorder, give some nice codecs externally, but internally kind of restrict what it can do. It's a photo first camera. concentrate on that, and I think you got a winner on your hands. Like, you won't be able to do any, won't be able to even supply it, like I've been saying. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other. Leave your comments below on what you think should be the perfect camera. But I guarantee you, you have never, ever heard about a Canon retro camera described this way as to what that design should be anywhere on YouTube. I can assure you that. And very few people actually have that experience using 3 generations of Canon cameras, FD, EOS, and RF, that can actually speak to it. So some of you are on my channel. Let me know your thoughts. I'm pretty sure you'll be super stoked if one of these came out, and you would probably buy it using my links, I'm sure, because we don't talk about rumors and bull over here. We just talk about the real deal and real experience that comes to life, rather than just trying to just lure people into clicking on a link. So with that, like, subscribe, be nice to each other, go out there, create your magic, and I will talk to you in the next one. Thank you.